provided a dent, leaving them on 12 for 2. Fazir Mohammed, as per usual, joins us to review the action. It was another exciting day. There were times today where I felt that the West Indies were behind the 8 ball, but they came away relatively unscathed. The Aussies weren't able to get a huge lead after the first innings was completed.
I think you're right there, Don. When you really look at it, I think going into day two, Australia have 286 on the board. You're thinking because of how the West Indies have struggled with the bat, they could be all out for 120. They could be in real trouble. The match could be over on day three. Could still be because you know how things go in cricket. But I think it's commendable the way the West Indies fought. 64 for three at one stage, and then a decent partnership between Brandon King and Roston Chase, and then a half-century partnership between King and Shea Hope. And even when 3 wickets went down, we saw a 50-run stand for the 8th wicket. And just to rub salt in the wounds of the Australians, if they had any open wounds, you had the last pair frustrating them for over half an hour to the point where they had to go to Travis Head to eventually bring about the breakthrough. So yes, trailing on first innings by 33 runs, but those 2 wickets from Jaden Seals really set things up beautifully going into the third morning.
Yeah, we're going to go to Jane Seals in just a little while, but as far as our batting was concerned, especially Brandon King, he really looked good. 75 of 108 balls, but then his... I mean, a couple of these wickets that fell were a little bit disappointing, but for the most part, we really couldn't withstand what Australia had to offer because they were so disciplined.
Yeah, and in the case of Brandon King, you could understand the disappointment in your effort to try to describe that dismissal, because what you often refer to as a strangle, down the leg side, just clipping the glove, and then he's caught behind. But sometimes these things happen in the game, and we saw that even today in the Test match with England and India. Joe Root caught down the leg side in the very first over, and then the drama unfolded later on in the course of the day. So it's one of those dismissals that, of course, batsmen would hate, but it's part of the game. It's a bit of carelessness, a bit of luck for the bowler, but that's how it goes. But yeah, listening to Floyd Reefer, the West Indies batting consultant, the former captain, after the day's play, he was particularly impressed with King's intent on scoring.
Yeah.
I think that's what you want. That's what you want to reflect that level of confidence, not devil may care. And I think that's where John Campbell has a
Yes.
problem, because he builds an innings, he seems to be going well, and then out of nowhere he comes with a shot like what we saw and is caught at mid-on. So really it's about finding that balance. It's not the easiest thing, but that's really why it's called Test cricket.
It is a fine line, isn't it? Because John Campbell would have done really well up until he reached 40. And then I think he was straddling that line well between attack and defense. And then it almost as if he was almost dismissive of the Australian bowling for some strange reason for him to try that shot early. And it's been a feature of his game because he has been dismissed quite a few times in the 40s.
And that's why he averages 20 and change in Test match cricket. Because again, he has yet to be able to translate whatever big scores he would have had in regional competition, and that's why he's back in the Test team, and to take it to that level in the Test match, where you're not going to get away with too many things. You might have a bit of luck here and there, but as you said, it's a fine line, because one day you chase a wide one and it goes straight to gully and you're gone. The next day you chase a wide one again and it goes fizzing away past backward point, and everybody's saying what a great shot that was. But these are the fine margins, and therefore, as a Test match batsman, especially at the top of the order with the ball moving around, you've got to have all the different components that really make up a top quality top order batsman, and that involves shot selection, patience, knowing when to be defensive, knowing when to attack. So there are many different variables.
Yeah, his 100th Test match, Craig Brathwaite, and being dismissed for Doc, Faz.
What can you say? We were speculating yesterday. Wouldn't it be a dream if he were to get 100
Still a
and
dream.
cut the rest of his effort? Well, He got the 100 without the one. He got the zeros. But again, the fact is the opponents recognize that Brathwaite has been struggling for runs of late. He has that stodgy manner of his, not the most fluent player that you'd see in world cricket. And he got a leading edge and was taken, well held by Josh Hazelwood. Uh, Again, we'll have to wait and see, can he make amends in the second innings, because you don't want to go through your 100th test match with a double failure, and therefore it's really going to be up to him. But once more than anything else, the West Indies need all hands on deck in the field tomorrow when they're bowling, with the catching as well, and then whatever the target is, however much, however few, the fact is that they've got to be able to think that everyone in that team can make some sort of contribution if required.
Yeah, and the wicket will start to deteriorate. Jaden Seals has already started business. How important it is, Faz, that they really just come out tomorrow and get their lines and lengths accurate, and then most importantly, they take the catches, they take the opportunities when it comes to them.
Absolutely. You can't allow Australia to get away with 3, 4, 5 catches. We already saw 2 catches put down in the first innings, even as Australia got 286. We saw how many went down in the first test match, which might have narrowed the margin of defeat, but the West Indies probably would have gone under anyway to Australia. But at this level of the game, you really need to be sharp from ball one. And therefore, you've got a situation where someone like a Jaden Seals, who's really at the top of his game from the way he bowled this evening. You've got Shamar Joseph, you've got Alzari Joseph, who picked up 4 wickets in the first innings, and the support bowlers. You've got Anderson Phillip, who got the important wicket of Constas in the first innings as well. Justin Graves, the captain himself, Roston Chase, offering a bit of off spin. So it's really about everyone, if being called upon to perform tomorrow, to be really focused, because you can't afford to give away too many loose deliveries, because the way the Australians play their cricket, if it's a bad ball, they're going to put it away, whether it's 20 for 2 or 240 for 2. It doesn't really matter to them.
Do you think the bowlers have a target in mind, what they would like to restrict Australia under? Because they would know how the pitch is playing and they realize that it's deteriorating quickly.
Well, Floyd Reefer said 220, which I think is generous.
Generous, yeah.
I would think that you're thinking maximum 150. If that sounds nigh impossible, because that means you have to get Australia out for 120. Just look at the way they've shaped up in the first 3 innings of this series. They've been struggling in the top order. Then it's taken a Travis Head or Bo Webster and Alex Carey to pull them out. And therefore, it's important for the West Indies to be firing on all cylinders from ball one tomorrow, weather permitting. And so far, the weather has held fine generally. So I think 200, anything over 200 would be out of the range of the West Indies, but I'll be happy to be proven wrong. So, and therefore, I would be thinking nothing more than 150, 160 as a gettable target.
Thanks, Faz, for your time. Appreciate it, as always. Just a reminder, Australia 45 runs ahead with 8 second innings wickets intact, and it's going to be a very interesting weekend if it lasts the additional 2 days. We'll take a break, back with so much more interactive after the break. Yeah.